From 90-mile-per-hour winds in Wyoming that flipped this 18-wheeler on its side, and a utility worker in Ocean County, New Jersey who was in for a shocking surprise, to a last-second dodge in Western Virginia that saved 2 officers' lives. Here are 6 terrifying moments caught on police dashcam. The small city of Texarkana is nestled on the border of East Texas and southern Arkansas. 2 versions of the same town exist on either side of the border. This classic video comes to us from the Arkansas side. On October 15th of 2005, 2 Union Pacific Railroad trains collided in the rail yard. Unfortunately, the collision punctured a tanker full of propylene, a highly flammable compressed gas. Corporal Randy McAdams arrived on the scene moments after the crash. Then, he wound up retreating for his life.
Just lost power down here on the hill. 10-4. 209, you might want to back your unit up.
Get your ass out of my way. Get the hell up out of here.
McAdams thought he was driving through a thin fog when he arrived on the scene, but that was no fog. It was propylene gas spreading across the ground. One tiny spark from a nearby house turned the area into a fireball. McAdams threw his cruiser in reverse and hightailed it out of there. The explosion caused $2.5 million worth of damage. Sadly, the person whose home ignited the blaze lost their life in the accident. If you live in Glen Heights, Texas and need a quick bite to eat, you might find yourself at the Jack in the Box on South Beckley Road. If you happened to stop by on February 11th of 2017, you may have seen a brave officer doing everything he could to save the restaurant. Officer Chris Womack was responding to a call about a fire in the drive-through lane. When he arrived, he found a pickup truck engulfed in flames right next to the window. Chris knew he had to act fast to save the building and the employees inside. You can see the remnants of the fire when Officer Womack turns around. However, his quick decision-making definitely saved the building from burning down. The best part? This was Officer Womack's first year on the job. He told reporters that his adrenaline was going a little bit, and it was a godsend that he arrived in the nick of time. It's not clear what caused the fire at the Beckley Road Jack in the Box. Manchester Township is a tiny community in Ocean County, New Jersey. They're the famous home of Lakehurst Naval Air Station, where the Hindenburg disaster happened in 1937. Nearly 100 years later, Manchester had another scary incident involving fire and explosions. On April 15th of 2019, utility workers arrived to fix some damaged power lines. When wires go down, the electric company cuts the power so workers can safely handle them. When our boy in yellow grabbed the wire, he was in for a shocking surprise. Keep your eye on the man in the yellow suit. Part of the wire is caught on a traffic pole, so he's trying to get it off. The protective gear prevents him from getting shocked, even though he thinks the line is de-energized. After a few solid attempts, he finally gets the line unstuck. But as soon as it hits the ground, the whole thing bursts into flames. He runs for safety as the wire burns out on its own. Then, just when you think it's over, the fire comes back for one more jump scare. Thanks to his protective gear, our utility worker made it out unscathed. Elk Mountain is a small town in Carbon County, Wyoming. On February 11th of 2017, 3 Wyoming state troopers arrived on scene to help some drivers after a crash. The wind was howling that day, which made conditions on the highway a little unsafe. While the troopers were distracted, a semi-truck approached down Interstate 80. Just as it passed the patrol cars, a powerful gust of wind smacked into the side. Nobody could believe what happened next. Pay attention to the traffic coming toward the police cruisers. Our officers are off to the side, sorting out the car accident. Judging by the cruiser's antenna, you can tell the wind is blowing pretty fast. The 18-wheeler approaches, and it looks like it gets blown off course several feet before the cruiser. Then, the wind hits the side and it flattens the cop car like a pancake. According to local weather reports, the wind peaked at 90 miles per hour that day. Thankfully, nobody was inside the cruiser when the truck toppled over. The driver and passenger were both okay. However, they got slapped with a traffic citation since the highway was closed to high-profile vehicles during the storm. Gate City is a small town of about 2,000 people in Western Virginia. As such, they only have a handful of police officers on duty. In seconds, one out-of-control driver almost took out half the force. It was October 3rd of 2021. Officer Jessica McGraw was conducting a traffic stop when Officer Matthew Stewart joined her on the scene. Things were moving along when Stewart saw a car skidding out of control and heading right for them. You can see the rain pelting what we assume is Stewart's cruiser. Jessica has her back to the road and doesn't see the white sedan skidding out of control. Thankfully, Stewart does. He grabs her and pulls them both to safety as the sedan smacks into her SUV. Stewart's quick thinking saved both of their lives. We're not sure where the white car came from. It almost looks like it skidded across the grass. According to local reports, the car was traveling in a northbound lane when it lost control and slid across the median. McGraw and Stewart were both okay, and the white sedan driver got a ticket for failure to maintain proper control of their vehicle. Paducah, Kentucky is a small city in McCracken County, about 3 hours southwest of Louisville. About 27,000 people live there. On May 26th of 2016, 3 of them were in for a scary experience. A lightning storm brewed over the area. Sergeants Jared Rivera and David Shepard were driving their respective cruisers when they captured a massive bolt on their dash cams.
It might help if you could go back through it. Well, 2 reasons. One, it would be...
Sergeant Rivera was the first image you saw. The lightning struck a house in the neighborhood just as Sergeant Shepard was passing through. The second angle switches to Shepard's POV just as the bolt hits the building beside him. The force was so great that it knocked his dash cam off the windshield. Thankfully, neither Shepard nor the homeowners were injured. Their home sustained some minor damage due to the lightning strike and subsequent fire. If you want to see another video just like this one, then be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.